Welcome in, everyone. It is Emily Grace McWhorter from Disrupt Media, home of the Next Round, and I'm with Katie Feeney. And Katie, me and you, we both covered the college football semifinals. We weren't in the same place, but we were covering both games. So while you were in New Orleans, I was in Pasadena. Tell me about your experience. And like me, did you also wear the wrong pair of shoes?
No, I actually was prepared with the shoes. I only brought sneakers. So actually one day, that's a lie, I did wear heels, but it was only for a short period of time. Otherwise, I would not be able to walk around. I feel like I've been to enough sporting events now where I know it's like, it's not even worth like the outfit. No, like I'm going to be comfortable. But yeah, so this was one of my games that I went to with Allstate as their first ever on the road college football correspondent. And I've really only been to Penn State games other than NFL games. So it was really cool to get to go to like two of the biggest games of the year. I went to the SEC championship and then the Allstate Sugar Bowl in New Orleans. First time in New Orleans as well, but it was an incredible experience. So much unprecedented access I got with Allstate. So yeah, it was an awesome experience.
I want to talk more about the Sugar Bowl and the access that you had. A lot of people don't understand just how strenuous these game days are. You are up at the crack of dawn and you were going all day. So what was your favorite memory from that game that you took back with you?
So I got to go on the field pregame, kind of into the first quarter, and then basically the entire fourth quarter. And it was such a close game. And I was there for the trophy reveal with Allstate, and I got to go on the field early. And being in the environment, I was on the Washington sideline, so I got to see all of the emotions as they almost lost, and then they pulled it together and won. And getting to see the players' reactions is one of my favorite things ever. So it's very cool to get that perspective because it's very different from seeing it above and then being on the same level as the players. It was crazy.
Player reactions are the best. And I feel like in this day and age, we have a unique opportunity where we can be right in front of them and we can whip our phone out and be able to give people the in time reaction of insane moments. So, who has been your favorite player, do you think, that you've been able to interact with in your time and your role in the social media world covering different games?
He was a player, but it was actually at the All-State Sugar Bowl talking to Tim Tebow. I am a huge Tim Tebow fan. He is one of the nicest people I've ever talked to, and he gave me advice as I'm asking him questions. Like, he's also helping me out. We got to play catch. I was originally playing with Sam Macho, and I see like Tim looking, and I mean, he's like one of the best
Right.
college football quarterbacks ever. So getting to play football with him, I was a little bit nervous that I wouldn't be able to match his skills. But
Right.
I didn't drop the ball once. I was throwing some
Perfect.
spirals. He actually said one of my spirals was perfect. So it's a big achievement for me.
I would take that with me everywhere. I'd say, by the way, Tim Tebow thinks that I can throw the football, and it's
Yeah.
perfect.
Oh,
So
I told everyone.
when I was at the SEC championship, so you were there as well.
Yes.
And we didn't cross paths, but I was on the field post game. And like you, I'm a huge Tim Tebow fan. And my colleague said, okay, is there anyone that you want to meet before this game? And I said, I really want to meet Tim Tebow because, like you said, it's Tim Tebow. He's awesome. And I love his wife too, Demi. She's fabulous. And so I was trying everything. And post game on the field, I saw that one of the players, Tyler Booker for Alabama, posted on his story or on his Twitter, that Tim Tebow was on set post game on the field. And I'm sitting there, I'm like, I'm on the field. Where is Tim Tebow? And so Katie, I saw him and I ran from the corner of the end zone where we were set up for our post game show across Mercedes-Benz.
Oh my
I
gosh.
get
Were you
over
wearing
there.
heels? Were you wearing
No,
heels?
hey, luckily I was in tennis shoes that game.
Okay, good. Okay,
So this was SC championship. I was in the tennies, and I'm like sprinting across. I get over there, and of course I'm out of breath, and I'm like, oh my goodness, I can't meet Tim Tebow out of breath. And just like you, same experience, sweetest, most caring. And one thing that I thought was really cool is that he remembered my name. I think that's a little thing that people often overlook. And I know you've met a lot of people like,
It goes a long way. Yes.
yes, it does. And I told him, I was like, tell Demi, I love her style. She is amazing,
Yeah,
everything.
beautiful.
Let's continue. I just really want this would be a space where girls that may not know how to get started in the sports industry can kind of watch this and get some advice, because for this industry, me and you are relatively young to be going to the college football semifinals and doing all of these things. So, what has been the best piece of advice that you've gotten thus far? And what would you tell a girl that is maybe in college or out of college and wants to break into things?
Networking, I think, is the biggest thing. I've talked to a lot of different sports broadcasters like Jenny Taft, Lauren Gardner with the MLB and NHL. And I mean, that's what they say. It really is about the connections you make in this space. And I think for a lot of girls that have reached out to me, I'm so happy they have, because I always love to give advice. And I know I'm someone that I had to ask people for advice that were already in this space, because it is still relatively new. And especially with now the amount of females working in sports, which I absolutely love. So I think it's helpful to just hear from other people and hear about their experience. So getting to where they got. And yeah, a lot of it is networking, and also just like not being scared to put your foot in the door. And I don't even know if that's the right expression.
Yeah, yeah. Put yourself out there. Get
Put
yourself
yourself
in a
out there.
position. Yeah.
Because it can be intimidating, especially when you are surrounded by a bunch of like males and older guys that have been in the
Mhm.
space for a while. But I mean, you just have to do your thing and be like excited and proud about what you're doing, because it really is paving the path for so many other younger girls.
One of the things that I love that you said is not being afraid, because a lot of it is that first step of, hey, I want to do this. I'm not exactly sure how to do this. I always tell people, reach out to the person that has a job you want and
Yeah.
be specific with your asks. If you want to be a sideline reporter, if you want to go into the social media aspect of things, you want to be a sports photographer, you want to be a sports agent, find someone that has the job, reach out, and don't be afraid of misdirection, because
Yes,
sometimes you may end up doing a job that you didn't think you necessarily wanted to do, but it gives you tools to equip yourself to do the job you want later on.
exactly. Yeah. And I think really taking those steps on your own, whether it's starting to create your own sports content when you have no like specific ask that you have to do, but just creating it on your own and kind of making that portfolio for yourself. Because I originally started out making Penn State videos, and it led me to this incredible opportunity with Allstate, getting to be one of the first, or the
Yeah,
first, like
you
college
first.
one for them. So yeah, I mean, it really is about taking those steps on your own, and then they will lead to more opportunities. And yeah, like you said, be prepared for misdirection. You won't always love the exact job that you're doing, but it's all baby steps in order to get to your ultimate goal.
Do you ever look back at those first few Penn State videos that you did and see like the growth? Do you ever let yourself go there? Or you're like, oh my goodness, I do not want to watch those.
I love looking at old videos, even like my old videos from high school. I just like, it's cool to see the improvements I've made and really getting the hang of things, and seeing like my first videos interviewing players to now. And
Mhm.
I'm still learning. I'm still getting used to it. It's not like a overnight
Yep.
change, getting comfortable with that type of thing, but getting to see the improvement. It shows like that hard work pays off. And yeah, I'm excited to see what other opportunities come.
One thing about you, Katie, is that you have really paved the way for the social media aspect, especially on TikTok, and you have quite the following. How have you managed the pressure of having such an audience but still wanting to achieve your career goals?
I've always been very cautious of the content I'm putting out on social media. I've always posted more family friendly, like clean content. And it's taken me a little bit longer, I think, to grow, because I know there are a lot of shortcuts in the social media world to make yourself more familiar.
Mhm.
And I kind of wanted to take like the slow and steady route, and I'm happy I did, because from a brand perspective or a company perspective, they want someone that they can trust and that they know won't like do anything that they wouldn't want,
Yeah,
like for their
for
image. So
sure.
yeah, I mean, I think that's has been the biggest key to the success I've had, is maintaining that clean image. And yeah, just making sure that it's something that you would want your parents to see, or like your friends or whatever
Your
it is,
daughter
teachers.
too.
Yeah, exactly. Like be aware that other people are watching your stuff. That's kind of like the mindset I've always had is just, would I be okay with my professor seeing this? Because I mean, they do watch my videos with them, so I'm like, okay, I need to,
Like,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm gonna be in class on Monday and you're gonna see the TikToks I was
Oh yeah,
posting.
no, definitely.
How has that been balancing school and life along with this sports career that you found yourself in?
It's been busy. I mean, I love to be busy. It's definitely taken me some time to figure out how to manage all of it. I'd say that's been the biggest challenge in all of this is I'm working towards my career while also getting a degree, while also
Mhm.
still building my social media platform and posting the content I usually post. So it's been definitely a learning experience, but I always say, like, I get more overwhelmed if I'm not doing anything than if
I
I'm
agree.
getting on a plane, having to wake up at 6 a.m. to be in this place and then like busy all day. I love
Yeah.
that. I love that type of like, it's like an adrenaline rush for me, I think. And I enjoy that type of like, those types of nerves. And yeah, I think they're the best types of nerves to have.
Well, I think that too, that mindset, because I wholeheartedly agree. Like, I want my schedule to be back to back to back, going to this game, interviewing this coach. And when I'm have that time to think almost, it psychs me out more.
Yeah.
But I think in this industry, it's so important to be flexible and to be able to catch a flight at whatever time and get to that game and then turn back around. And you're having to learn that at a really young age as you're in college, balancing it all. And I think that's one thing for me personally, doing as much as I did at Georgia Southern. That's where I went to school.
Yes.
It allowed me to learn how to balance things, learn how to communicate with people, and commit to things that I know are going to help me and discern, okay, this is where I might need to cut back to achieve the ultimate goal.
Yes. And I think like everything you did at Georgia Southern and what I'm doing at Penn State, it really is important to get involved with your college and getting that experience before you move on to whether it's like a professional league
Mhm.
or college football overall through a company, a brand, a network, whatever it is. I think getting that experience through your college, and there's so many different clubs and
Exactly.
organizations you can join, other girls or guys that are also doing what you're doing and like getting to kind of bounce your ideas off of them. That is so helpful and important in
Yeah.
doing this type of job.
So one thing that I read was that the moment that you knew that you wanted to be in the sports industry was at a Penn State whiteout game. Absolutely iconic. Have you had that moment yet where you've kind of looked around and said, okay, this is how I know I'm supposed to be in this industry?
I think seeing the impact I've made on other people, I have young girls reach out to me all of the time and they're like, I didn't think this was even a possibility for me,
Mhm.
but seeing that you're doing it, it gives me hope and getting to provide them advice. And again, I'm still learning. Like, I'm not a pro at this by any means. I'm learning every day. And so getting to show the my audience that anything really is possible if you like
Mhm.
put your mind to it, and it's kind of like that manifestation mentality. After the Penn State whiteout game, I did know. I was like, I need to do something in sports. I don't know exactly what, but I know this is what I want to do. So then I started dedicating a lot of time into it, and after that, like more opportunities started coming, and now like getting to achieve some of those like dream roles. And again, like I can't even thank Allstate enough because getting that type of experience beyond just my own college has been so incredible. And again, that's like another that to me is like, okay, I know this
This
is why
is
I'm doing what I'm doing. It's
yeah.
for things like this. And when you're on a field for a football game and you see the fans and you hear like the noise, it's like it gives you chills. It's
Yes,
amazing.
it does. I'm thinking about just this past season and previous seasons, and there's nothing like it until you experience like me and Katie, we could tell you guys all day how it is, but until you're down there after a big win or a heartbreaking loss, I mean, the emotion that we get to be a part of, it really is unlike anything. But is there a game that you are like circling on your bucket list, you want to attend, that you want to cover it?
I want to go to the college football national championship next year.
Okay.
That is what I'm manifesting for 2025, I
5.
guess. Yeah,
5.
2025, beginning of 2025. Yeah,
Yeah.
that is the goal. Almost with the All-State Sugar Bowl.
You were really close. Yep. We
Very
were both
close.
almost there. Just a
Yeah,
game off.
almost there. Just like a little bit more to go.
A week early. We were a week early.
Yeah, a week early. I mean, basically, like
Yeah.
really
Katie, this has been so fun to get to talk to you and just kind of learn more about your story. Before I let you go, where can people find you and what are you working on next?
You can find me, Katie Feeney, pretty much everywhere. Some of my platforms have 2 Ys, but I'm sure if you search Katie Feeney, I should hopefully pop
It'll
up.
come.
And yeah, I mean, I'm going to continue going to different sporting events, and I'm excited. I think I'm going to try some different sports out too this
Okay.
year. So I'm excited to really try everything. And yeah, I mean, be sure to check out all of the content I did at the Sugar Bowl and the SEC Championship as well, because that's some of, like, I would say the coolest behind the scenes footage I have ever gotten.